I'm going to go on a journey of over 40 years of flight simulation and the evolution that we have seen, because we are in a sensational golden age right now. And whether you have been there from the start and have watched the evolution and been part of it yourself, or you are just new to the hobby right now, I think you're going to find this quite fascinating. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this is the best time to be a flight simmer. Now, I wasn't doing too much flight simulation back in the early 80s, but from what I can understand, that's when flight simulation started. Microsoft Flight Simulator 1.0 launched in 1982. Can you believe that? 1982. And look at this. Look at those graphics. Wireframe. But you know what? For the time, if we think about it, and this is the time of the Atari and the Commodore 64, if you all remember, this was revolutionary. You could fly from your own living room. Now fast forward to 1989. Microsoft Flight Simulator 4.0 was born. It brought us color graphics and more detailed aircraft. When you look at it by today's standards, extremely basic. Well, I think we all know that. But there was a foundation there and it was slowly being built. I think it's important as well to take a bit of a pause around this sort of era, around those late 80s, because from memory, and I recall back then as well, if I'm not mistaken, I had I think it was back then a 486 SX Pentium or something like that. Computers were expensive. RAM was expensive. Random access memory was expensive, if you remember. And they had limited memory, hard drives of 100 megabytes or something. They were so tiny by comparison of today. For those getting into flight simming and computing back then in the late 80s, this wasn't a cheap commitment. Now we carry forward into the mid-90s and we start getting into some names that I do remember quite well. Microsoft Flight Simulator 95 and 98 were released. And now we're getting some textured graphics as graphical engines improve and power improves in PCs and more memory is made available. There was recognizable terrain. You could see terrain, albeit extremely pixelated by today's standards. And aircraft that actually this time looked like aircraft. And when you think back on those days, just as I was playing Atari with black and white Space Invaders or asteroids, the imagination took off. And for many of you right now, people that have been around for so many years, the passion is even more when you look back on all of the years that you've been involved in the hobby. Let's go past 1989 and hit the new millennium. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2000 and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2002 were born. And this time we had a texture revolution. Why? Well, because 3D cockpits became the norm. You could see depth and detail in your gauges. You could see the instruments, and the immersion factor jumped significantly. But here's the inflection point. 2006. This year was a game changer. Flight Simulator X, or FSX as many of you still call it today, was launched. Even today, 20 years later, I still get people in the comments tell me that they are still playing FSX. And you know what? If you've got a copy of it and you load it up, you can kind of understand why. It was pretty revolutionary. It had dynamic weather, mission-based gameplay, and it had aircraft detail that we had never seen before. But it also had something else, something crucial. It was the birth of the massive add-on community, developers who created scenery and aircraft to be bolted on to Microsoft FSX and pushed the standard package of FSX beyond what was originally delivered. A community-driven expansion set, developers from all over the globe, and this became that blueprint for everything that has now followed. And let's not forget, around the same time, X-Plane was also featuring on the block. An alternative approach, different physics engine, different modelling, a different visual style. This competition, I think, was fantastic, and it drove innovation on both sides. Now, I have never used this nor ever played it, so leave your comments down below, but Prepared also featured out of FSX's DNA. It targeted predominantly professional and military training. I mean, this is just sensational. Flight simulation now wasn't a hobby. This was some serious business. Now, I don't know about you, but when Microsoft Flight Simulator's teaser trailer came out showing the graphics, I initially thought this is going to be, you know, the advertising type graphics. It won't be like that in the real sim. Boy, was I wrong. This changed everything. A digital twin of the Earth was born. You could fly over your own house. Think about that. You could literally find and fly over your own house. Now, was it absolutely perfect? No. But when you're sitting a couple of thousand feet in the air, it was getting pretty close. Live weather came into play. Live weather, downloaded data. You could look outside your house, be flying Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, and I reckon it was guaranteed to be pretty close. And you were in cockpits and planes where it just looked and felt real. The textures, the trim, the way that there was dirt and I guess aging and weatherness. So why is this the best time to be a flight simmer? Well, here's my 2 cents worth. In my view, our imaginations can finally catch up, and we are now getting very close to photorealism. I mean, think about that. Photorealism. It is not going to be that far away. We've got some time on our hands now, particularly us that are approaching retirement or are in retirement. We can log our flights, we can save at the time, we can explore a digital world from the comfort of your own home. And as we've seen, it's only getting better. Microsoft 2024 has now been launched. X-Plane 12 has now been launched, and they are both bringing improvements to graphical engines, to flight physics and dynamics, to add-ons and so on. It is such an exciting time to be a flight simmer. And this is what excites me most. When we look back on the early 80s, through those 80s, where it all kind of started, some 35, 40 years ago, to where we are today. In the grand scheme of things, it's a relatively short time, but massive improvements in technology and innovation to bring flight simulation to the level of detail and immersion that we've got today. And I haven't even spoken about VR. That's probably for a whole nother video. But what really excites me is where to next. Think about that. Just dwell on that for a moment. We've got a digital twin of the Earth. Ground models aren't the best, but they are far better than what they used to be. And you cannot help but feel that it is only going to be a matter of time where those ground textures and those ground models become photorealistic. Photorealistic. Unbelievable. Well, thank you so much for watching the video. Hopefully you made it through this far and you enjoyed the content that was presented. If you did, please, you would do me a massive favour by hitting that like button, and also, if you're not subscribed, subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell as well, because YouTube will push it out and it'll mean the world to me as well. I hope you enjoyed it. I love making it, and I look forward to catching up with you on the next one. Bye for now. And by the end of this video, I'm going to be able to show you exactly why this is the best time to be a flight simulator. Not a flight simulator, a flight simmer. God damn it. Why would you want to be a flight simulator?